This was the scene from hell. We just could not get this scene right. It's a very hard scene to play. I don't know. There were things about the lines reading, and
it's a tone problem. In the X-Files, we didn't do a lot of scenes like this, and casual pickup scenes in bars, and it was a very hard one to nail.
And then there's also issues with Lucy's hairstyle, and I don't know, there was everything.
Right.
Everything went wrong with this scene, which is why it was reshot. And I believe the reshoot took place at a completely different bar. This bar is actually the bar that Mulder sat at in the movie, and we thought, oh, that'll be a nice bit of continuity to come back to that bar. But you couldn't tell. I mean, I can't tell it's the same bar Mulder sat at in the movie.
Right.
And nobody in the audience could. So the reshoot actually, I think, took place at a completely different bar in Burbank or something. This is downtown.
Thirsty.
Straight up. No ice this time, please. You know, I tell this guy about the ice, and then he pours
Lucy Lawless was
a scotch on the rocks.
fabulous.
About the ice.
See, this is a very hard line.
What's wrong with it?
Well, it's no big secret. It's been in the...
Well, and you have to remember that the crew and the cast are shooting every day, and they get script pages, and here it comes, and they just sometimes it's very difficult to achieve subtlety in things because yesterday they were shooting a different episode with different actors, and here we go. And so I give them a lot of credit for all the good work they do, and then when something doesn't quite work, they will kill themselves to make it better. So
Or we'll kill them.
or we'll kill them.
I know about the government.
He's going to be dead soon. Don't pick up beautiful women in bars. That's the message of the X-Files. That's really why we wanted to cut this scene.
Long way to go for a drink, huh?
We just really wanted to bring her back in any way we could.
Wow, that's a big explosion. Sensitivities were so high after 9/11 that there's some talk about whether it was even appropriate to air an explosion like that. Because obviously it had been shot before 9/11 and then was to be broadcast afterwards. This episode was way long, and the scene lasts forever.
Yes.
Just reviewing this scene for the purposes of making this commentary, I was like, when is it going to end? And despite the fact that these are two of my favorite actors, these guys are great. They had great chemistry together and really liked working with each other, James Pickens and Robert Patrick. So no disrespect to them or to the excellent writing of Mr. Carter. It's just a long scene. There's just a lot to accomplish here. So we really looked at how can we possibly pare this down.
Two men, all which have now disappeared, but constitute a...
Problem was it was the end of a two-part episode, a very complicated, as usual, two-part episode. And we needed to not only sum up the story, make sense of it, show us where all our characters now stood, but come around to the meaning of the title, Nothing Important Happened Today, which proved to be very difficult.
I found nothing on you. Nothing damning I could honestly include in my report, let me say. Because
I look at this and I just think Kim Manners. I mean, you know, we worked with this guy for so long, and you get to, his film starts to have a personality to you, and that sort of low angle, cutting off the top of the head, seeing a piece of somebody in foreground. It's very typically Kim.
Last punch before the bell.
See, it's a long scene. He's gonna.
The ideas are interesting, and their dynamics interesting. It's just it's not a three-parter.
You're a student of history.
I also seem to recall that this was one of those scenes where, you know, of course we were hemorrhaging money. We didn't have time to shoot it, and it was like late at night. They were shooting this, and
You ever heard of King George III, John? He was the King of England
There
when
you go.
America declared independence in 17.
Now you'll understand the title.
King
Priceless thing to me is Robert's reaction after he hears the story.
Yes.
On July 4th, 1776, he made an entry in it. Eve of the Revolutionary War. A war that forever would change history. King George III wrote these immortal words. Nothing important happened today.
Excuse me, sir. What the hell's that got to do with me?
Revolution started.
There was a take where he was even more.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
And even kings can miss them if they're not paying attention.
Paying attention to what?
Something simple as an obituary.
This was one of the interesting dynamics of this season was, is Kirsch a good guy or a bad guy?
You were the one that gave me the evidence that started this? Why the hell would you help me to get you?
You know, it is a miracle watching the show that people stuck with it as long as they did, because you can't get up and get a beer and come back.
You
gotta
miss something.
You got to sit here and watch this
Everything
because you're going to be completely lost if you don't. I guess a lot of people probably were lost, but viscerally
I
it
was the one under investigation.
pulled you forward, whether you really understood what was going on all the time or not.
You did. Walking out that door might just be the smartest thing you could do now.
Is this scene still going on?
My mind drifted off to, what's for lunch? I'm just joking. There's a need to provide humorous patter while this is going on. So sometimes we'll say impolitic things to fill the track. This is one of my favorite episodes of season 9. This one was long, and we were struggling to cut it down, and there was a lot of great material we didn't want to lose. So this scene that we deleted here, we hated to lose it because it was Skinner out in the field being smart, and we like having an opportunity for that. But everything you need to know you find out in the next scene. And Skinner having this moment of weirdness, there he is, and then he's gone,
Anything?
is never alluded to anywhere else in the episode. So
Footprints as you'd expect, but nothing definitive around the spotty.
it's just one of those things you can delete and not miss.
I'm sorry, we've got nothing.
Not quite nothing.
I agree, though. It is a pleasure to see Skinner out from behind the desk, but
Concentrate your team over there.
Yes, sir.
There he is.
Mama's boy.
Yeah, you can tell, can't you? It's a jacket. Now he's gone.
And here we did add a little, what we call a loop line, which is a line of dialogue added afterwards.
That's it, huh?
Found in the alley lodge in a wall to make sure that the audience is up to speed.
We really agonized about cutting this scene.
Right.
Arrested. Not so much as a ticket for littering.
He's elusive and smart.
Everybody was good in this episode. Everybody was very strong.
Doggett also told me that he, Reyes, and I had been on stakeout together looking for the man. You know, I checked my calendar for that day. Nope.
What about the 7 murder victims that he named?
7 women, he said, had their tongues cut out by Mr. Lucas. Every last one of them.
See, this is all information that seemed like you couldn't afford to lose.
Where did Doggett get their names?
But in fact,
Physical descriptions.
if you've seen this episode, you realize it works without it.
Where would Doggett get that information?
I don't know or care. Right now, Agent Doggett is medicated to the gills. He could wake up saying he's Rosemary Clooney, and I wouldn't be surprised. In the meantime, neither he nor Reyes is telling me a story that makes any sense. Nor you, for that matter.
What would it hurt to dig deeper? Talk to the man. Or do you really want to see Monica Reyes tried for attempted murder?
Wiggle your finger if you feel anything. Any sensation at all. Pain. Tingling. Okay. That's enough for today. We'll see if we can do any better tomorrow.
I think what we just saw was a show. Dylan Lokensgaard caused those bugs to attack him, to make himself look like a victim instead of the perpetrator.
Okay, but
Once again,
this guy's the horse.
show's running long. You got to lose something.
I don't know how he's doing it, but I may know a way to find out.
So this is a scene you could take out. It was a shame because it kind of foreshadowed the ultimate reveal at the end of the show that she's a bug woman.
No, this was a hard decision, I recall, because I did like the double entendre that's going on between her and her son.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
You think I wasn't a teenager once, huh? It wasn't.
See, she knows his secret, and he doesn't know that she knows. We don't know that she knows.
But maybe if you talk to me, I can help you.
Tell us you're a bug.
Very special person, Dylan. And special people sometimes.
Family drama.
They think there's no one on earth who understands them.
But she does.
But I've been there, Dylan. Every single thing you're going through.
Oh, the irony. Breaks your heart.
Subversive. It does feel a little like a different show for a moment. But it's one of those moments that later you go, aha.
Where did you get this?
Dylan Lokensgaard provided it to us when we interviewed him.
Well, I have to warn you, there's typically not a lot to be found in a teenage boy's sweaty Kleenex.
Well, you're looking for pheromones. Aren't there pheromones produced in adolescent sweat?
Yes, it's what causes BO, but all too obviously, it's not all that attractive to anything.
We went through a number of versions of this scene. This is the...
Yeah, who is it? Special agent.
guy who has to get to Scully's apartment.
Terry Sullivan? Special Agent Terry Sullivan, is that you?
This was a scene that we realized we didn't need.
Try to wake you.
It didn't connect anywhere else in the narrative.
Is that correct?
And we thought maybe Dog was being a little mean here.
A little bit of a hard ass.
He's great, though.
Yeah,
His performance
it's
is
fun.
great.
It's so fun.
On the X-Files. And unless you want your name dragged into this as my source, Agent Sullivan, I suggest you play ball here.
But that part we thought was a little underhanded. Unless you want your name dragged into this as my source.
Yeah?
And then also, we thought maybe it's a little too easy that
So why don't you tell me what violation?
this seems to turn the guy, make him cooperative. It's like, why would that turn him, really?
Right.
That was Agent Doggett again. No waiting. Mom, I gotta go.
It's the middle of the night, Dana. I just don't understand why I can't wait till tomorrow.
Mom, it's important. I wouldn't go if it weren't.
Yes, I know, Dana. You say it's about getting answers.
Answers about William, Mom.
He was a marine biologist?
An immunologist. Sharks have a remarkable immune system. Toxins that would kill nearly any other vertebrate pass right through them.
So he did medical research.
Douglas wanted to save the world.
This is another scene where you didn't need it, and it felt like everything was coming a little too easily. They were figuring it all out. Just, just what they needed to figure out, they do figure out, just like that. We also didn't love this set here. And
right, that was their shot was not done on location. It was done on a studio.
Not necessarily.
But it's one of those. It's part of the process. When you break down a story and you write a script, often you think you need a piece like this of connective tissue or a way to get the audience up to speed with the characters, and then you see it play, and it's a different animal. You have to then make those hard decisions.
I'm wondering if we should call Scully in on this. She may have an insight into the science, and we both know she has a big stake in the outcome.
Too big. Our key informant is so full of crap.
Yeah, we thought, well, we can't cut this. This is about why Scully's not in this episode.
Cheer up, Gomer.
But something has to go.
This is a computer, Langley.
Get back to the geeks.
Computer. Step away before you embarrass yourself.
Always a pleasure, Kimmy.
Yeah.
Once again, long.
Particularly long, as I recall.
And, well, we love to have sexy Scully.
Yeah, this was a hard choice. Cutting that.
It actually played better to introduce her at the jail, which is the way it is in the final cut. Just was more energy. You didn't need this little bit.
How long has he been here?
I'm trying to get someone to sign.
Who called you?
Kirsch's office.
You're only too happy she had to give it up, so there's no proof.
Agent Reyes.
This is a fantastic performance by Annabeth. This is one of her best moments. Just great.
Make a mockery of it. Gladdened it proves your point.
Agent Reyes, that's enough.
What is the point of all of this?
It really made me sorry what was going on after this.
Yeah. I get chills just watching this again. Just as a little piece.
Either way, you lose.
She said to me this was like her, parting gift to the X-Files, this scene. She really worked hard on it.
Well, it shows.
Yeah, she did a great job. And it felt like that was the stronger place to end the scene than carrying on with this, which was sort of a tag that kept alive the mystery of why Mulder wouldn't testify.
Minds now.
I can't.
Why?
But it just felt like going on a beat longer than you wanted to.
Because I can't.
Mr. Skinner. Call your next witness.
I think also it was like Annabeth was so strong, stronger than anybody anticipated on the page, that you realize you can't,
You're not going to top that.
You're not going to top it.
There is a little leap of faith here, and you hope that the audience, when you come back, picks up that he rests his case and he's not calling any more witnesses. I think it worked fine, but I remember it was some nervousness about when you return to the story in the courtroom. Are you going to know Skinner's over and over and done? And I think you did, though. I think it worked.
If it didn't, then no one would ever watch the show again. Which wasn't a problem, I guess.
Are you ready for this? We may have found no Aurora.
Okay, I'm so happy we cut this scene.
Yes. This was not a hard choice.
There was a lot of debate about it, I got to tell you, and people on both sides, but you can't top this.
No. This is the end of the series. This is the emotional end, certainly.
Maybe there's hope.
While this gentleman looks amazingly like George W. Bush, we were not actually going to use his voice if this had made it to air. We were going to replace it with a professional voice impersonator for the president. The other thing about this scene is that we had hoped to use the West Wing's Oval Office set. And in fact, we'd even at one point considered asking Martin Sheen, who played the president in the West Wing, to do this scene, which would have been a nice sort of wink. But ultimately, we decided to go with the more appropriate and more powerful ending, which was our two heroes.
Good cut.